Live. Surely we're live. Yeah, looks like we are live. Yep, we are. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new stream, and that is right. We are live on this beautiful April 2nd, 2025, also known as Liberation Day. I hope everyone's having a great day. I'm not having the best of days myself, because what happened last night, that was, well, that was a shit show, what happened last night. Let's be clear about that. That was an utter disaster. Listen, I'm not trying to doom and gloom. I'm just trying to be honest with everybody. Is that the biggest disaster you've had in a while for the Republican Party? Because
in like 2 years, yeah.
oh my gosh, guys, listen, there's a lot to talk about today. Liberation Day, we got to talk about the tariffs, the Doge, we got to talk about Wisconsin, Florida, a lot to get to, but before we get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. These are all great ways to support the daily content, and if you have any questions, concerns, or want to support the channel even further, best way is send super chats via the chat. Again, I read through as much of chat as possible, but usually super chat's the best way your questions answered. And give me a second, chat. Got to share this link with people.
Maybe we should bring back the intro
Why?
so you can have time to do this and
Yeah, it's
check
fine.
if we're live before we actually start the
Probably
stream.
the intro is like it was messing some stuff up, but I might. We'll see. So yeah, guys. Yeah, we got a couple super chats to read actually. All right. Okay, code for 5. I copied the phone number of the Wisconsin GOP off the website off my phone and have called them 3 times today. I get the call cannot be completed as dialed. Yeah, the Wisconsin GOP sucks.
They probably just changed their number or something. Like
They probably freaking did. Knowing them, they probably did. It's like, no, we gotta change the number. We're getting so many calls.
we can change their number because people keep harassing us.
Oh, freaking losers. Maryland Degati for 2. Is there any hope? We'll get to that. Right guy for 5. Results like last night is why the Badgers will never be as good as Ohio State or Oregon in the Big Ten. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're not wrong. But alright, let's talk about last night. So the final margin ended up being plus 10 for Crawford, which is a bit more than I thought. Projections were like plus 8s for a while, but then, yeah. We got killed last night. This was a beatdown. There's no other way to put it. This was an utter shit show. We got the shit kicked out of us. Anonymous for 2. Does this change your outlook for 2026? I don't know. So
It probably means we're going to have some trouble in Wisconsin in the future.
that's why I think we have a problem with it. I think Wisconsin's a big problem. Like, listen, I knew Crawford was going to win. My prediction was like plus 2 or 3. I thought, okay, plus like 8 or 9, so that's pushing it, but maybe it could happen. Last night confirmed my fears about Wisconsin, that we have a big fat problem here. We have a boomer problem in Wisconsin. And I know I've been harping on this for a while, but we have to talk with the boomers. We actually got to talk about these people.
I just realized there's a county I predicted would go Democrat that actually went Republican. Done.
Yeah, so Republicans, like, here's the weird thing about last night. Brad Schimmel, in some parts of the state, didn't do that bad. Like, he won Grant, he won Lafayette, he didn't do bad in the Driftless. What?
We just got our asses kicked in the suburbs.
Yeah.
And,
that's what killed us. I mean, we
cities.
got absolutely our shit kicked in the suburbs and the urban cores. Like, these are not bad results to these areas. Like, Florence County plus 46. I mean, these aren't bad. It just, well, you can't, as a Republican, especially down ballot races, you can't get what do you get in Waukesha? Yeah, 58%. You can't get that. You need like 61%. Milwaukee, he only got 25%. Good lord. He only got 25% in Milwaukee? That's worse than Dan Kelly. That's worse.
Voter ID apparently lost Milwaukee.
Yeah, it did. Barely.
And almost lost Menominee. But
yeah,
that was
yeah, so it's not good. Now, I've been looking more into this. And again, guys, we're not going to get full results for precincts for a couple weeks, more than likely. But from what I could tell from the results I've looked at in Milwaukee, Madison, there's a very fascinating phenomenon happening in Wisconsin. It's boomers. It comes down to boomers. Now, not every single boomer is the cause of this. What is happening, though, is you're having people from Chicago, boomers from Chicago and other states, they're fleeing Illinois, Minnesota, these other Democrat areas, and coming to Wisconsin. Hell, probably from Texas. There's probably some
They basically
Democrats.
they want to live along Lake Michigan. They want to live along the Great Lakes. They want their lakeside mansions and all that.
Yep.
It's why Door County is zooming to the left, and it's permanently Democratic, and might even be safe Democratic in 2028, to be honest. But well, that's beside the point.
Yeah, so here's what's going on, all right? Not every boomer's like this, because there's some areas like, I think Florence is actually the oldest county in the state. It barely swung Democrat. It only swung like 3 or 4 points Democrat. What is happening, though, is like, you look at places like even Milwaukee. This is a good example. There's parts of Milwaukee where boomers are moving there, and they're taking their freaking voting habits with them. Same thing with Bayfield, Douglas, Dane County. These boomers are moving here, they're taking their voting habits with them, and they're turning the state Democrat. We actually lost election day vote in Waukesha, by the way.
We lost the election day vote in Waukesha, so how the fuck did we win the county?
I don't know. This race makes no sense.
Unless they mean like Waukesha City, which definitely went to Crawford, but
No, apparently, okay, sorry about that. Apparently people are saying, no, it was the election day vote. Like, for the entire county. I could be wrong, but that's what people are saying.
okay, so Schimmel probably won the early vote in Waukesha, but Crawford won the election day vote.
Which is,
Is that what I'm getting?
I mean, we kind of saw that last night a little bit, actually. Remember, the early results were actually good for Schimmel. Remember? They weren't great.
Yeah, that's usually getting like in the 60s, but yeah. So I think what happened is that the big turnout that we saw, yesterday was Democrats.
That's just weird. So, what? How does that make any sense? What? So you're telling me? Sorry.
So like I don't know if it's I don't think this is going to be a permanent thing, but it's just like we're going to see Republicans voting early and Democrats voting on election day or something.
Well,
I don't know.
I remember Atlas Intel, which they were spot on in this race. They're off by like 2 points or whatever. They had the best vote block for early in person for Schimmel. So here's what I think happened. All right, we don't know for sure. We'll know in a couple weeks, I guess. But my theory is we actually got the vote out early. We got a core base out in the early vote. We didn't win it, but we got it close. The problem is the boomers overwhelmed us. On election day, they overwhelmed us. And, which is just strange because how many people did Presler's group text, they thought? Was it like 600,000?
Yeah.
Who the hell did they talk to? Who?
The problem is that these people probably just have no motivation to vote because they think everything's fine and dandy because Trump's in office.
You're not wrong. K-Cup for 5. These boomers and their voting habits are going to make Wisconsin unaffordable and unlivable for the younger generations because they earned it. Yeah, that's...
Or probably an even bigger thing, people are sick of politics in April unless they're hardcore liberals.
Yeah. So, is the young vote in Wisconsin also not looking good? No, actually, young vote's looking good for us. In some areas. What?
They just didn't vote.
Yeah. Again, not everywhere because, like, people are say, oh, well, UW-Madison voted Democrats. Like, of course. These people, like, they're going to vote Democrat no matter what. But young people in general, they actually, according to Atlas Intel, which, again, they were spot on, it was 50-50 with the young vote. The problem is, well, they make up, like, 5% of the vote. So, yeah.
Let's see. Final margin for superintendent was also 5.8.
That right there proves my point.
These are absolutely shat to bed in the driftless. It was horrible in the driftless.
So, guys, for those that don't know, this, in my opinion, proves what I've been saying. It's the boomers. Because Kinzer was the pro-parent candidate. She was pro-parent. She was pro-school, school choice, kind of. Well, again, she didn't really talk about it as much, but she was the pro-parent candidate. Jill Underly is the boomer candidate. She is loved by the teacher unions, and she's, well, not as much anymore, but she's still loved by boomers, like these boomer teachers. And take a guess who won her the election.
It was the boomers.
Yeah. This proves my point. Because who voted for Underly? Old-ass white people. That's the only demographic that loves her. Cherokee Bear for 5. The Lincoln Project have 14-year-old... Oh, gosh, I'm not reading the rest of that. That's the Lincoln Project. I wouldn't be surprised. But... like I said last night, boomers have one foot in the grave and are hell-bent on dragging us down with them. Yeah. They want to take us down with them. And we have a big problem. I mean, how do you deal with this? How? Because, like, these boomers are just not... They're going to keep voting. No matter what you do, they're going to keep voting forever. And it's clear, based on the results, these are just old-ass white people in Wisconsin, and half of them came to Wisconsin a couple of years ago, and now they take their voting habits with them, and now Wisconsin is going to be in trouble down the line. What a mess. What a freaking mess. And, yeah, this is not good. Again, this is also a turnout problem. How many Trump voters didn't vote last night? I know people are saying it's a cope, but seriously, how many Trump voters did not vote last night in Wisconsin? Couple hundred thousand?
I mean, what was the turnout? Like 2 million was the turnout, I believe?
2.3 million.
Mm-hmm.
Turnout in 2024 was like 3.2 million. There's a non-zero chance that the people that voted for Underly, basically every single one of them voted for Harris. Some probably voted for Trump, not denying that. Or same thing with Crawford. But I would not be shocked if we're at a point now where Democrats, their machine is like, their party's shrinking. But no matter what they do, they're going to get 1.3, 1.4 million votes in Wisconsin, no matter what. No matter what they do, they're going to get 1.3 million people out to vote. Because that's the machine they got now in Wisconsin. It doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter if the economy is booming. These people are going to vote Democrat no matter what. And we got to solve that. We just got to solve it. Because we can't keep affording to lose these Supreme Court elections. We can't. Because you know what's going to happen now? What's going to happen? They're going to get rid of Derek Van Orden, excuse me, and Brian Steele. Those two are gone. I know Luke is not, too worried about that. I am. I really think they're going to get rid of those two. And our pathway to the House is, unless Ohio redistricts or something, I don't know. We might be in trouble. Way more trouble.
On the other hand, I mean, it's possible Utah might also be redistricting.
Yeah, freaking the principled conservatives there. Freaking losers. I mean, that's the Republican Party, everybody. Alright,
So judging by redistricting alone, if the redistricting states are going to be Wisconsin, Ohio, and Utah, that's going to be a net loss of 1.
Yeah.
Net loss of 1 seat.
Yeah.
Because Ohio, more than likely, is going to cancel out 2. They'll pack Cincinnati, and then they'll split up Toledo and Akron.
Yep.
And then Utah, you're going to have a pack in Salt Lake City and Park City.
Freaking dumbasses. That's a Republican Party. Why? Why the hell are they doing that? What's the point? You're just giving Democrats a free seat.
Now, maybe you cancel out Utah with, Cuellar going to prison, so...
And New Hampshire. I know that, what's the governor's name again? What's her name?
Ayotte?
Yeah, she wants to redistrict, apparently. So, we'll see.
That could probably give us a seat in New Hampshire. Maine, I've heard Golden may not run anymore.
I don't think he's running. I think he got spooked. I think he got spooked by the primary. Because people there are not going to vote for him, which is stupid, but... Alright.
I think he probably just wants to stay in Congress for the rest of his life.
I think he wants a pension. That's what I think he wants. Alright. K-Cub for 5. Want to know something funny? The young resist libs of the state who I know and went to school with, they blame the old white boomers for everything. Everyone does. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. And you know why these people are voting? And like, I brought this up like a couple hours ago. I know we've been harping on it a lot, but simple logic for 2032 rap trust a plan. Oh gosh. But yeah, so at this point, these people that are the boomer death cult, that's what I'm calling them now, there's only 3 issues I care about. Abortion, Elon Musk, and January 6th. Like, again, how do you stop that? I know you gotta say, like, get higher turnout, but, like, these people are gonna vote. This is all they care about. They don't care about the economy. They don't care about the border. They care about abortion. They care about Elon Musk. They care about January 6th still. So, yeah, just not good. Not a good situation. Not good. But yeah, overall, last night was not good in Wisconsin. I'm hoping that Brian Schimming resigns. Which, speaking of Brian Schimming, has he said a word about last night? Let me check.
I don't think he's tweeted since last night.
No, he tweeted a couple hours ago. Are you shitting me? He posted this 4 hours ago. For those that don't know, this dumbass, he's the chairman of the Republican Party of Wisconsin. He's talking about the jobs report. Who gives a shit? You just lost the Supreme Court race. You lost the superintendent race. What, did they win anything last night? Was there a single thing these people won last night? I can't think of one. We got killed everywhere.
Probably like some safe harbor special elections and like some school board election where like a high school student won, which is actually kind of cool, actually. But
yeah, so we didn't win
other than
jack
that,
shit.
Yeah.
We didn't win anything. And this dumbass is talking about the jobs report is good, which we'll get to that in a second. Yeah, the jobs report is good. But what are we freaking doing?
Good. It ain't gonna be good when Wisconsin becomes the next Illinois, but you know.
Yeah. Again,
well, Minnesota probably more likely.
If
but
Brian Schimming had a backbone, if he had a spine, if he had guts, if he had a brain, his first statement should have been, "I resign." Schimming has won nothing. For those that don't know, he took over after, I believe, Ron Johnson. It was either right after 2022. Look what has happened since then. We haven't won jack shit except Trump. Trump's the only victory we've had since Ron Johnson. That's it. We lost the off-year election. We lost in 2025, 2024. We lost everything except Trump. So, yeah. And this dumbass is still here. Resign. This guy should have resigned immediately. When we lost by 10, he should have said, "I quit. I resign." But no. Instead, he's probably going to be reelected as chairman. Yet again. Alright, Wisconsin may turn the Minnesota light. I mean, I'm concerned about that. I'm really concerned about the future of Wisconsin now. I know it's one election, but guys, we didn't win jack shit, and people are celebrating. This is the thing that pisses me off the most. People are celebrating the voter ID thing. Like, yeah, we won the voter ID by, how much was it? 25? Yeah. You know my problem is with this, though? This changes nothing.
Already law.
It's already law.
It's already law.
Yeah.
It basically, it makes it harder to get rid of it, but it's already law.
And this dumbass DC Drano, listen, I'm done pretending about these people. I'm gonna start talking with these people. These dumbasses.
They're pretending that they never had voter ID because we lost it in 2020.
DC Drano, who again, I never said anything bad about him. He's a nice guy, I understand that. But this guy, he put out a dumbass statement. He said, "Wisconsin Supreme Court justices come and go, but constitutional amendments are forever. And Wisconsin now has mandatory voter ID in their constitution. Now the Democrat election machines in Milwaukee and Madison will become obsolete? Are you shitting me right now? This was already law for 10 years. These idiots know not. Listen, again, I'm not trying to be rude, but guys, this is a dumbass statement. This is insane. This has been law for since I think 2012. I think, yeah, we've had voter ID for a decade, and these morons really think this is such a big win. Is it a win? Okay, yeah, it's officially the Constitution, but who cares? You lost the Supreme Court. Watch. Now the Supreme Court's going to say you can use anything for voter ID. They're going to make this so easy. They're going to make this where it's pointless. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. And now you have people like Carrie Lake, who why is Carrie Lake still talking?
It's her. Yeah, basically, she still wants the number. She still wants, voter effort to be the number one priority for our party.
Yes, registering voters is critical, but so is ending election fraud. You don't lose by 10 points because of that. If it was a 1-point defeat, that's one thing to argue that. This is by 10. You take serious dedication and courage under fire. You lost by 10 points. And you're more
Basically,
worried
what's
about
going to
this?
happen is these influencers are basically, they're just going to say, "Oh yeah, the election was stolen.
That's
The
what they're
election
doing.
was
I'm getting...
Jasmine Crockett, she's racist."
Listen, I know they follow me. I know, like, Carrie Lake follows me. I don't care. Listen, she is full of shit here. I'm sorry. You
Like,
don't
honestly,
lose...
dear influencers, shut the fuck up about Jasmine Crockett. Shut
Yeah.
the fuck up about F words.
And by the way,
We need to get these people out to fucking
these
vote.
people talk more about who's running against Jasmine Crockett again. What's her name? Or his name?
Sheldon Daniels, this guy that's going to raise like $10 million and probably cost us our House majority.
Yeah.
More so than the redistricting in Wisconsin's probably going to do.
All right, chances raising for 2. Michigan GOP lost to 22 and Trump won it. There's still hope. Yeah, but that's after they cleaned house after Christina Caramo took over. I mean, that was a whole mess, but a glitch Evie...
The other thing is that Michigan had a historically more industrial economy than Wisconsin.
Yeah. There's a lot more
So it does.
votes.
Michigan and Pennsylvania. I mean, Wisconsin's still part of the Rust Belt, but they're not really as industrial as.
Yeah, I mean, everyone
Michigan
knows Michigan has like the Ford stuff. That's
Michigan is Michigan is automobiles. Pennsylvania is steel. Wisconsin is more agriculture, and they're also. I mean, Wisconsin's always historically been a very progressive state.
Yeah,
they've always been liberal. They're the home of Fighting Bob. They're the home of, socialists, basically.
All right, a glitch Evie for 2. Boomer Con accounts are so annoying. Yeah, I'm done with them. I'm done talking. I'm done like pretending there's no problem. These grifters gotta go. I'm sick of them. They push this crap every time. We lost because of fraud. No, you didn't. You lost because you said nothing about this campaign. Did any of these people say anything about Wisconsin before a week ago?
No.
They said nothing.
And then they, again, blame it on fraud and then carry on their merry way talking to Jasmine Crockett.
Cole Langdon for 5. People like DC Drano, Gunther Eagleman, and Benny Johnson have no idea how politics and strategy work. Carrie Lake needs to be deported, by the way. Listen, I have no problem with any of them. But yeah, I mean, they don't talk about the races that matter. So they talk about Sheldon Daniels. They talk about that shit. The shit that doesn't matter. And then, I don't know. I'm sick of this. I'm getting sick and tired of the same grift over and over again. It's insane. They're just gonna keep doing this, aren't they? They're just gonna keep blaming the same thing over and over again. You lost because Trump voters did not vote. That's Alice Intel's own poll. Young people voted Schimmel, but they voted like shit rates. Like 10 people voted that were young. Trump voters, they were like 95% Trump. They didn't vote. That's Alice Intel. They were correct. You lost because of that. This was a... How much of a Harris electorate was this in Wisconsin? How much was it, you guys think?
Honestly, Laxia J might have been right about the Harris plus 20 or so electorate.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, if it was Harris plus 20 and Brad Schimmel like lost by 10, that's actually kind of impressive. But still. If Boston, Wisconsin House GOP grows a spine, they would impeach Crawford, never hold a trial. She won't be able to rule on any cases, essentially freezing the court. Yeah, but they're not going to.
Oh, we lost the election. It must have been fraud. Anyways, here's something stupid Jasmine Crockett said.
Yeah. It's just insane. This whole situation's dumb. So, aside from Charlie Kirk was in Arizona in 2024, have any conservative influencers gone off their ass to help any races? No, I can't think of one. I can't think of one.
It's really just Charlie Kirk and Scott Presler.
Which, I'm sorry, my doubts. Listen, Presler's a nice guy. He's a good guy. I'm sorry, my doubts.
Me too.
Who joined? Oh,
hey, it's John.
Oh, hello.
I mean, what's your issue with Presler?
Outside of Pennsylvania, what has he done? That Oh, go on.
So we understand early vote action is like a small organization, and so I don't expect early vote action to be some sort of superhero savior of the world. But I have started doubting a little bit based on things other people have been telling me that early vote action's impact on races may not be as exaggerated as it is online. They were kind of talking about how the Amish Mennonite numbers in Pennsylvania were exaggerated. They were talking about how there's a few different things that Presler's done to get major donors on hand, but like he didn't actually produce like major results. And I'm not saying, look, I'm on the same page as Rap. I like what Scott Presler's done, and I don't want to like crap all over him because in general, like the general thrust of actually getting off your butt and doing stuff is something I want everybody to emulate. But I don't know about how I'm kind of a little bit more uh wary of like putting all my stocks in things Scott Presler does as if it's going to like move the moon or change everything. I think we should need to stick with the message of like mobilizing everyone, but then like not act like Scott Presler's like the savior of the American race or something. I think that's probably
Yeah.
we just need to have managed expectations, I think, and also we need to examine the data. We need to see at the actual data level what Scott Presler has managed to do, and also just figure out what he's doing right and emulate that. But then and figure out in a real way what he's actually done. I think that we need to actually have that discussion. We need to figure out what it like in substantive details actually happened in the races Pressler's been involved in.
Richard had for 2. Michigan and Pennsylvania will swing right. Wisconsin will be Minnesota. That's the concern. I think Pennsylvania's we're in a great situation there. Michigan,
Yeah.
same deal. I mean, the thing with Presser is, I'm not denying he did great stuff in Pennsylvania. I know, like people are saying he inflated what he did, but you cannot deny.
I mean, when it came to 2020, he basically, he lived in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Lived there, and he's trying to do the same in New Jersey this year.
Yeah, and again, voter registration is a big deal, and that's the number one thing he's done. Voter
and when it comes to governor elections, yeah, doing in New Jersey, Virginia lost all hope.
Hey,
that's lost.
Hey, listen. Here, that's our next test. If Pressler and his like formula works and flips New Jersey governorship, that's going to be, I mean, that's going to be more hard data in favor of what he's doing. And I definitely am rooting for him. So we just need to know exactly what's going on. I think we really need to get into the weeds with the data and figure out what's going on.
K-Cup for 2. 2024 is much different than this, to be honest, to Scott. Well, listen, I'm not denying. I still think Presser's done a great job, but just like, how many people did we really text?
That's an interesting thing because the server query actually ran out. I think that whatever service he was using to keep up the app and the website, I think it ran out of money to or actual like space to accept queries or whatever, because like I couldn't use the app for a whole day. But anyways, yeah, no, I don't blame the Wisconsin race on Presler. I absolutely not. No, that's not the deal. I actually think the Wisconsin race turned out almost exactly how we thought it was going to turn out, didn't it? Not me. I was way more optimistic than you guys, but it kind of hit expectations. Some people are saying it went below expectations for an off year and everything. And the only reason I say that is not because it's something we need to be complacent about, it's just because like all the myriad of reactions that come after it, I have a little bit of contempt for like some of the immediate shock reactions to the loss of the race. But anyways, yeah, good grief. I guess what I'm saying, if you don't get what I'm saying, like people see MAGA lose a race in an off election year, and then they're like, well, we need to lurch left as quickly as possible. And I'm like, no, no, oh, geez. But yeah, that kind of ticked me off yesterday. I'm not going to try to ramble about that. It ticked me off though.
But
Um,
I will say that there are some things we learned from this race that I do think can work. I think the idea of like texting voters, I think that's ingenious. The problem is, I think it's got to be more targeted.
I think honestly, texting voters might actually be more productive than calling, because calling doesn't guarantee a response.
Yeah,
Texting,
you see it.
yeah, they'll see it. They will see it. They may not respond, or even if they do, they'll probably call you Hitler or something, but they'll at least see it.
Because, like, okay, which counties did Schimel overperform in compared to, like, what happened? It was the Driftless. And remember, what part of the state did Scott Presler put a big effort into for the early vote action? For the Texas
I think a lot of it was at one point it was the Driftless.
It was the Driftless. And again, we didn't do good here. It still swung fairly Democrat, but compared to the statewide margin, this should have been like a blowout. So I think there are some things that worked. I just think it needed to be more targeted. Because what I think we did do is we texted the people that were going to vote no matter what. That's what I think happened here. I think what happened is we texted people that already voted, or they voted, or they're going to vote for us no matter what. That's what I think happened here. Now, I think it still helped. Like, you cannot deny that we didn't do that bad in Driftless. But, Waukesha. Yikes. Yeah.
Waukesha, honestly, I think that's a ticking time bomb for Republicans. Like, I think this might be starting to prove that it's not just a Trump problem.
Yeah. I mean, it's a disaster. It's an utter disaster. But
Don't be surprised if the city of Waukesha gets included in, like, a Democrat-drawn district.
So, yeah, the more I look at this, this is what I think we got to do. There are some things I think we did correctly. We just got to be more focused. Again, the texting I think made sense. That's a new way to target voters because, again, when you call somebody, they're not going to answer 90% of the time. They're just going to think, oh, that's a shitty number. Who cares? But when you text them, yeah, they may ignore it, but they're going to read it. But I just wonder, like, did we just cannibalize the vote? We just texted the people that were going to vote no matter what? Already voted? Did we?
I don't think there's any way to know.
We'll never know. Well, there's ways to know, but... Right guy for 2. WoW as a whole is a ticking time bomb. Yeah. It's a ticking time bomb.
Ozaki might end up flipping. Well, I don't think it's going to flip.
No, Ozaki's never going to flip. But... At this point, it's not going to. Well, actually,
I think they're going to get closer and closer, but...
We're actually going to know if the texting worked, because we know who we texted, right? Because they have the voter file. That's how they got the numbers. We'll know in the voter file if they voted in this election or not. If they voted... it proves it worked. If they didn't vote, well, what did that tell you? Riley Moore for 2. Wisconsin's next. Illinois. We'll see.
Maybe Minnesota for right now, but we'll see what happens.
How was Washington County last night? Not bad, but still not good. What do you say, John?
Okay, and across the country, I want to talk to the workers. I want to talk to the workers and the wages, and I want to look for the people that voted in 1 out of the last 4 elections or 2 out of the last 4 elections. I want to go to those low propensity voters that are in the working class and potential, just like, wages. And I want to go talk to them and sell them on the vision, the MAGA vision, the America First vision. Like, hey, we're going to bring production here, and that it doesn't mean you have to become a steel mill worker. It doesn't mean that you have to become like some sort of auto worker. But what it means is that business is going to come here, and you're going to get higher wages, and you're going to be able to work and build skills that were never available to you before. And this is what we want for you. We want you to be able to pull yourself up. We're not telling you to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. We want to bring you the bootstraps.
Yeah.
Like,
not what the boomers want, but yeah.
Well, right. Like, we actually want to lift you up, and I think that is a really big message. Again, we have a bunch of people bailing out of college right now, right? We have a bunch of people no longer going for the college scheme. Even people that really easily could get through college, not going to college because they just don't want the indoctrination camp, or they don't want to deal with the bull crap, or they don't want to pay the extremely high fees. Okay, so if there's a bunch of people bailing out of college, then again, it fits like a glove. We promote policies that create jobs for people that don't have college degrees but are capable of learning skills, and we encourage those people to support our programs. That's what I really think. Like that's got to be the worker vision. And again, we need help from our politicians. We need our politicians to actually figure out what the hell that is, and they need to be able to start signaling to those people. But that's what I want going forward. I want to talk to the workers and the wages. That's who I want to talk to.
Yeah, so I think that there's three things we gotta focus on. One, better messaging. Schimmel's messaging was better, right? Way better. The problem is, like, I'm starting to wonder, is the law and order thing really not that important to people outside of Milwaukee? I'm starting to wonder. Because, yeah, law and order is a big issue, but, like, outside of Milwaukee, I mean, in Wisconsin, there's really not that big of a problem. So, again, what I think they should focus on is, well, this is a hot take of mine. What if they made the race about the voter ID? Hear me out with this one. What if they forced Democrats, Susan Crawford, to pick either supporting voter ID or being against it, and make the race about that? Because it's on the same ballot. I mean, it's on the same ballot. It's not like, oh yeah,
I mean, voter ID, that's how you bring out the MAGA boomers, because they mainly only care about, election stuff.
Exactly. What if we could have made this race about voter ID? Because Susan Crawford would have been screwed no matter what. If she said yes, the Madison liberals, most would have still voted for her, but they would have been mad. They would have been like, you're a racist. If she says she's against it, well, the vast majority of people are for voter ID. So, I'm starting to wonder if, instead of talking about the generic stuff, what if we find a certain talking point to focus on and make that the entire race? Because that's what Democrats do. Remember, early on, they were talking about frickin' democracy and they were getting killed. But then they made the... Oh, hey, Luke.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you guys saw this, but there were more votes in the city of Madison yesterday than there were in November.
What?
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah,
That's... So you're telling me there's more votes in the city... Oh, my... So the young people vote for... Oh, gosh.
Well, no, that's just in general. It's not necessarily just young people.
Yeah. So
yeah, that is pretty insane. And I'm gonna make this point real quick about all of this. Look, at the end of the day, my takeaway from all of this is that I shouldn't have to care about an election in Wisconsin. I am in Florida. I am in the deep south. I shouldn't have to give a flying fuck what's going on up there. That's why we need more federalism. That's why we need more decentralization. I don't care if your favorite politician in DC is not talking about it. I need more power in my governor's hands, in my state legislature's hands. I need it down here so that I don't ever have to care about your stupid Supreme Court elections. And I'm willing to just like say, hey, we need to make changes up in Congress, up in DC, so that it's harder for terrible, terrible things like this to happen, the gerrymandering and whatever else. If we need to enact new restrictions on the federal level to keep this bullcrap from happening, then I'm completely for it. But either way, end of the day, my takeaway, which I think should be more people's takeaway, and I think more people should talk about, because it would be popular if people actually cared about it. States' rights, federalism, make Wisconsin not matter again. Thank you.
Wow. So I saw an actual
I'll also say Cryptid Politics, who's our favorite person, was saying that Trump should have been doing rallies for Schimmel. It's like you realize that Trump has a job, and he has to deal with like Putin, he has to deal with the EU, he's got to deal with Taiwan, he has to deal with a lot of issues right now with the tariffs, with inflation. Like he can't be focusing all his time. He's not like just a candidate. If this was 2023, maybe you could make that argument, but he's in the White House now. There's a lot of shit going on. He's got to be focused on that.
I saw an actual secede for 3. Just swapping coalitions. Obama had problems too. That's part of it, but there's still other underlying issues.
Here's the thing. Dems got killed way more in off years during Obama's presidency than we are.
They got murdered.
Way worse than we are now.
Talk for 10. Bright side, Florida Democrats are so incompetent. One of the candidates on their side for Miami mayor said, Cubans are a bunch of second-rate communists. Wait, what? They have lost that state. Did they actually say that about Cubans? And oh my gosh.
Well,
that's a Florida Democrat party.
All right, so I want to talk. So I think we also need to bring up Elon Musk,
Yeah,
Wisconsin.
so this is a pretty... Now, let's be clear about one thing. It's not that Trump fired Musk like people were claiming. This was expected. I kind of forgot about it, but this was actually...
Well, I mean in regards to the race, but we'll also get into the other news.
Oh, yeah. So
people on the left, they're claiming that this was a referendum on Elon Musk.
No,
it wasn't. They're
wasn't.
obsessed with Elon Musk. Rent-free.
One thing I will say is that door knocking, a lot of the people who were voting for Crawford were motivated to get out by Elon,
that's
they
the
weren't
average
a big
Democrat. This is my issue with like that talk. Like it's Musk's fault. Yes.
No, I don't think it was. Yeah, independents it didn't, but like when it comes to Dems, Elon being around is a turnout booster for Dems.
So they're more. They hate Musk more than Trump now, which is hilarious. But
yeah,
again, like this is the thing. Now.
I think that's the problem with these special elections. And look, Elon Musk, I think him financially was a positive.
Yes, I agree.
But on the campaign trail, when you have him on the campaign trail instead of Trump, I guess he's kind of campaigning on behalf of Trump.
Yeah, what I think
when you have him on the campaign trail in a low turnout election where the high propensity voters think Elon Musk is enemy number one, that's kind of an issue.
So what I think happened is the money itself didn't hurt Schimmel. I think it helped him because it evened the funding gap a lot. But what I do think happened was Democrats, they saw Musk talk with the race. They're like, oh my goodness, Hitler's coming to Wisconsin. We got to vote Democrat. That's what I think happened.
Musk needs to do. He calls himself the George Soros of the right, then act like the George Soros of the right. George Soros just shuts up and gives people money.
That's the thing.
Elon doesn't need to make everything about him, go to every race. Like, all that's going to do is, like, turn out the Dems. Turn out the high propensity voters.
Yeah. So we need.
I will agree with that perspective. I'm totally on board with that perspective. I agree with it. He does need to shut up. He's not a good campaigner. He's not a good public speaker. And I'm not castigating him for that. He's just bad at speaking publicly, and so he should probably just be giving money. He probably shouldn't be the one up on stage talking. I know maybe he wants to feel like a superstar or something, but yeah, no, he should just really have a backseat to all of this.
Yeah, again, that's what George Soros. So you never see him campaigning because everyone knows if Soros campaigned for somebody, that candidate would lose by 30. But when you have Musk out there, it makes Democrats energized. Yes, it might energize Republicans a little bit, but then it makes these Democrats who, again, they care about one of three issues. These boomer Democrats. They care about abortion, Elon Musk, and January 6th. That's all they care about. That's all they talk about.
So when you bring out one of their big issues, they're going to vote.
Exactly.
So
they only care about those three.
Basically, what I think needs to happen is I think Republicans basically need to have a discussion on Elon Musk's future on the campaign trail, especially with the midterms.
I'm going to say stay away.
Midterms are going to be low turnout. They are going to be low turnout. And it is likely, right as of now, I think Democrats are a very slight favorite in the generic ballot, just because of turnout. So, with that said, you basically you might just have to keep Elon Musk the hell away from rallies.
He can spend money but if he's just don't make him go out there, because if he's not going out there, the Dems will just be like, this candidate's propped up by Elon. But Republicans say the same thing about Soros.
Exactly.
There's just no evidence for it, so people don't care.
Just because they spend money, you can't really say anything. But when you see him talking about it on Twitter constantly, which again, I'm glad he brought up the race, but that's just been Trump's job. All they should have done is have Trump tweet, and that's it. K-Cup for 5.
The people that should be tweeted about it, have Donald Trump tweet about it.
Have Trump tweet about it so they can't say Musk tweet about it. K-Cup for 5. My Resislib colleagues never said Brad Schimmel once. They only kept saying we gotta stop Elon. They legit thought they were voting against Musk. Yeah, again, we're gonna know in a while, but I guarantee you this was like a Harris plus 10 electorate. I guarantee you at this point that's what it was.
I thought Lakeisha James said it was 54% Harris.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say I can't believe I'm saying this. He's probably right. He's probably right for once.
Well, yeah, dude, Madison was higher than 24 turnout.
That alone, guys. Again, that doesn't mean young people voted for Crawford. Polling actually shows the opposite. But it just means these people freaking voted no matter what. So, What I think
I will say though, even with that high turnout, we still did better than Dan Kelly in Dane County. So that's.
So I think what we got to do is, again, I love what Musk has done with the money. That was fantastic, but he should have never talked about the race.
Oh yeah, so we're coming to the end of this arc, and it's coming whether you like it or not, because like was said in the Brett Baer interview with Doge, Elon Musk is a SGE, special government employee. His tenure is to not exceed 130 days within any 365-day period, which means, and it's been about, 2.5 months since Trump took office. So at 4 months, that's the maximum amount of time that he can be in DC. And I know I don't trust the Politico article because it's Politico, but if it's true information from Politico that Musk is leaving, then I think that's generally a good thing. He's not evaporating from politics, but maybe he can start taking that Soros-like role.
All he's gonna do. Sorry.
Yeah. No, and if Doge needs anything, I'm sure that they can have his hologram pop up and talk to them about what needs to happen or whatever.
All it is an official position. That's all it did. All the point Musk was doing was get the ball rolling. Now he's have his people work on it. So.
Yeah, Doge was like, it's like 100-something employees, 120, 130 employees, I think. So yeah, Doge isn't going away, but Musk can go into the background. And look, I want to make this point. Regardless of what you think about Musk's time at DC, he was absorbing a lot of the punches that the left were going to throw against Trump.
Oh yeah.
A lot of the hatred, a lot of the vitriol, literal domestic terrorism was absorbed by Elon Musk. So he was a bit like a he was a bit like a shield for Trump at the start of this administration, and I want to make that point because at the very least, if you need some reason to appreciate Elon's like participation here, he took some amount of heat away from Trump at the start of a very important administration. So that's all.
All right, and yeah, the person probably in charge will be like Big Balls or something. So we'll be in good shape. We'll be fine. All right, Godsmack Air 69 for 5. Ahoy, mates, drink up. We have yet another horrible, unspecial election defeat to celebrate. Woohoo. Yeah, that's... And Brian Shimon has yet to say anything.
Yeah, talking about the economic numbers this morning. Also, I posted a video on my Twitter of, like, the replies to him, and every single post. Not even Dems. It's not even Dems. Like, you'd think it'd be Dems making fun of him for losing. It's not. It's all our people just saying resign.
Again, guys, if you can,
resign.
We gotta make a big deal out of this. If you live in Wisconsin, or even if you don't, tell him to freaking resign. This guy has he won a single race? Me and Real Text are trying to figure that out. I don't think he's won anything.
24. Yeah, and barely re-electing Van Orden when Trump won the district by 7.
Yeah, he barely won. Barely. So... this guy's got to go. He's utterly worthless, and he should be the one taking the blame. People are to blame Elon Musk and Presler, which is dumb, because Brian Schimming's the one that did this. Brian Schimming is the one that caused this mess.
Here's what else. I think Scott Presler needs to just stick in Pennsylvania.
Yes,
I don't know.
we're talking about that.
That's where he, like, his strength is. Just stay in Pennsylvania and maybe New Jersey. Like that's his strength.
Pennsylvania has the best trends for us, then Michigan, and then Wisconsin is probably stagnant or maybe moving slightly left because
I heard he was going after Amish voters in Wisconsin, and like anyone who has a basic understanding of the state knows that the Amish in Wisconsin are old order and don't vote. Like, he was wasting a lot of valuable time, let's just say.
Yeah,
and he was encouraging other people to go talk to the Amish, and it's like, they're not going to vote. Like, yeah, they would. If the Amish voted, we would have won Vernon County if the Amish voted. But they cannot vote, like, because of their religion.
That's the thing with the Amish Wisconsin. Not the same as Pennsylvania, yeah, they're Amish, but it's a little bit different. With Wisconsin, they don't freaking vote. No matter what you do, good luck.
Dude, in Pennsylvania, they work in office buildings. Yes. Okay, it's a completely different world. In Wisconsin, they're not even allowed to build buildings in town. Like they're very strict in Wisconsin.
Yeah. So again, like the thing with Presser is like, I still want to know like how I'm still wondering who do they text, because I'm starting to think they texted people that already voted.
We
That
just
the
want more
issue
information
is
about what
we
early vote action's doing. We want more information on them in
I
general.
want that.
we also we don't have party ID. That's another big thing. That same thing with door knocking. When I go and door knock, it might say the person's solid conservative, and then they have a Susan Crawford sign and are like a blue-haired like boomer. Like they exist. People
Yeah.
like that exist, and they'll show up as solid conservatives on these apps, and that's because we don't have party ID.
Which
Maybe they voted for like Romney in 2012 and then became
Yep, that's
Adam
that's the
Kinzinger.
conservatives like Waukesha. They voted Romney 10 years ago.
And
Well,
then
Luke,
and then now they're like Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney. In this house, we believe this, that, and the other
Yep.
thing.
In this house, we
well,
believe.
Luke, I have a question for Luke. So when you guys do this, you may not be able to know exactly what a party registration of a person is, but do you have any data on propensity on how many like elections they've recently voted
Yeah,
in?
we do.
Yeah, we have data. Yeah, you can see like how many elections they voted in, so you can tell low prop. Like I know with Turning Point, we went after low prop. With AFP, they just go after everyone.
No, I really think everybody, if the people that you work with in Wisconsin and the other groups in Wisconsin want to have, like they want to compete with Turning Point, this is not like we need to do something totally different from Turning Point. No, copy Turning Point. Like let's go after low prop. So what are low prop Democrat voters doing? Because if there's something wrong that's keeping them from voting, then that's a conversation. If there's low prop Republican voters that only voted in the 2024 election, then we have more conversations to have. So
Yeah.
I think like going for low prop, that seems like very rich fertile ground. I would, if I was in charge over there, I would just tell you, like literally just go for low
Yeah,
prop.
well, that makes
Go
too
for
much sense. John, you're talking about Wisconsin GOP. These dumbasses are stuck in 2012. So
Dude, these
That
are the
makes
people who said that like they don't want third-party organizations because paying people to door knock is a waste of money.
I think they think that Scott Walker is still the head of the party.
No, that's literally what Shimming said in like a private thing. He
freaking
said
dumbasses.
paying people to door knock is a waste of money. They should all do it for volunteers. You know, I've seen what volunteers do. They'll knock for
They're
like 30
shit.
minutes and then hang it up.
They're dog. I mean, look at Crawford's campaign. A bunch of them flipped. It's just like
Yeah, a bunch did flip.
K Cup for 2. Luke, what's Wisconsin GOP number? Website lies to me. I don't know.
They probably have their number private.
They probably
now
changed
because,
it.
I don't know.
Apparently, people are not.
I guess a
really-
bunch. I don't know.
Well,
I guess maybe
I know that someone called it last night and it went straight to voicemail.
It was
So
K Cup.
I mean, my guess
last
is
night.
that maybe a bunch of boomers called them and like were mass calling them and just calling them like Hitler and Nazis and then whatever. So maybe
probably, but
maybe they privately
But
changed
still, if
it.
you-
So I don't know.
yeah, it's a mess. Everything's a mess
If this
with
party
this
had
party.
backbone, Brian Shimon would have resigned immediately. He would have resigned after the first poll closed. We lost by 20. It's just quit. All right. Oh, okay, everybody. We got breaking news, everybody. So we have a tariff leak from Sky News. Apparently, so today's Liberation Day. For those that don't know, apparently we got the leaks of the tariffs. Oh God, what was that, John? What the hell was that?
That was I'm a little bit soyed up today. You know, we had like that Nintendo Direct in the morning. I'm just a bit soyed up right now. You know, I gotta let out the Soylent energy.
Oh yeah, those prices that they released. My God.
Yeah,
That's
good
just
luck.
for another day.
Funny thing, I think it's cheaper in like America than Japan, which is hilarious. But it's like, how is it cheaper in freaking America than Japan? Nintendo's right there.
As an old man, I was told prices were going to go up 10 years ago, 11 years ago. In like 2014, we were talking about how prices would go up. And then it didn't happen. And then I was like, okay, whatever. And then prices did now go up. And so like, look, I've had 10 years to process the fact that prices will go up. I don't care.
All right.
I don't
Nick for 5. How long until Crawford the court throws out the voter ID law you just got? That's what happened in North Carolina until we get control of the court. Don't listen to DC Drano. It's already been law. This is put in the state constitution. Now, they may try to circumnavigate it, but listen, don't listen to the grifters on Twitter.
They're not going to be able to.
Don't listen to the grifters on Twitter.
There was that dumb dude on Twitter who just said that like
DC Drano.
that Wisconsin is safe now because voter IDs. It's like it's always been in law. Like this just
only
solidifies
change
it.
was making the state constitution so they can't just say, well, it's illegal because we said so. But yeah, so anyways, a source close to White House told our economics and data editor, Ed Conway, there will be 3 separate bands of tariffs, 10%, 15%, and 20%. The bans will differ both by country and by industry. The specific ban each country or industry is placed into will depend on how the White House views each country's barriers. Interesting. So
Yeah,
between
that's
10
cool.
to 20%.
Right. So like the whole deal that they're doing in this, they're trying to make it simple. They're trying to make it simple, and they're trying to make easy goals for other countries to meet. Because if we look at people's high tariff barriers and like again, there's like a billion other things that countries do, especially the EU, to make our products unappealing in their countries. So what we're really doing here is instead of having, like 1,000 different tariff policies for every single different industry in every single different country, we're just saying, look, you guys behave poorly, here you're getting a 10% slap. You guys behave horribly, you're getting a 20% slap. And the whole thing is that if they lower their barriers and they behave better, they get rid of these stupid, the VAT rates or like any of these other barriers that are for American products. If you get rid of those, we'll put you lower on the bracket. We'll take you from 20 to 15, 15 to 10. If you get rid of all of your barriers, then hey, free trade.
Yeah.
Free trade for everyone.
And by the way, speaking of countries and stuff, Canada and Mexico bet the knee.
Let's fucking go.
So the Mexican president said they will not respond with their own tariffs. I thought she was standing up to Trump.
And Canada said they'd lift their tariffs.
Yeah, Canada's like, oh, we're sorry. We're sorry, we can't do that. I thought they had no tariffs. Wait a minute, I thought they had no tariffs.
It's sorry. It's sorry. It's Canada.
Yeah. But I was told they had no tariffs in Mexico and Canada. I thought there was none. What a freaking joke.
There's other stuff in the news I also want to discuss. So, couple things. First off, Democrats have a new leader now.
Who?
Who's the new leader?
Cory Booker.
Oh gosh, I don't want to talk about that.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's stupid. Can we talk about the tariffs a little bit more? Because I love the fact
No, why
that
would
the Ontario premier at Doug Ford, who went on Fox News, made a big hubbub. He cried on Fox News about how mean we were being, and he told us how we're bad Republicans, bad Americans. And after that woke scolding that Doug Ford gave us on Fox News, he drops everything along with the rest of Canada. Oh my gosh. I'm eating that up. That's delicious.
Oh my.
Please
Hold
give
up.
that to me all day.
We got breaking news. Frank Luntz, one of the worst pollsters out there, but he's one of those guys that like do those shitty those study groups or whatever. According to Frank Luntz, Cory Booker's now the Democrat frontrunner.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I was actually just about to talk about that. Before John.
So we went
no,
from
because like
we went from Kamala Harris to who is it?
Like Jasmine Crockett, the Tim Walz.
Then it was Bernie. Actually, it was Bernie. Then AOC, and now it's Cory Booker.
All because of one speech that he did for 24.
No one cares. The only people that care are old ass white people that watch C-SPAN.
Sorry, I'm racist. 25 hours and 5 minutes. I gotta say the exact time.
He spoke, and did anyone talk about it outside of the old ass white people?
I mean, he broke the record from Furman.
I didn't even I barely heard about it.
Should we lower the voting age to 16? That would probably help us now.
What?
We should have like a maximum voting age.
That's real.
Yeah, dude. We should lower the voting age to 16 and then cap it off at like 60.
All right, DG, you have to shock for 2. Do you think Beshear and Westmore are overrated? Beshear, yeah, Westmore's actual threat, but he's not going to win the nomination.
Westmore's not going to run.
Yeah.
And Beshear, all Beshear has is that he's governor of Kentucky. Oh yeah, I'm the governor of a deep red state. Okay, cool. What policies do you bring to the table? Democracy.
Democracy.
I like coal, even though I'm a Democrat. I don't know, something like that.
All right. Let's see. I gotta think of a nickname for Cory Booker. I don't know. I mean, the Democrats, they keep changing their nominee. I mean, at this point, they're who are they gonna pick for 2020?
I think the Republican nickname for Cory Booker was Spartacus, but that was in like 2020 when
that's fringe.
I mean, I think now we just call him Strom Thurmond.
Oh, I don't think it's a good idea to call him that, but I don't think it's a good idea.
He broke Strom Thurmond's record. I don't know.
Yeah, something. Let's see. Democrats should run a candidate for Florida for president. Oh yeah, they should run. Who's the chairman or chairwoman now?
Donald Trump's kid.
Who's the chairwoman of the Florida Democrat Party?
Nikki Fried. Nikki Fried.
Yeah, Nikki Fried. It'll probably be David Hogg after she decides to retire.
All right, we got breaking news, everybody. Let's see. Yep, India's prime minister is considering cutting $23 billion worth of tariffs on U.S. imports to avoid Trump tariffs. It's as if tariffs work.
Also, as if Modi and Trump.
Literally our greatest ally. Literally our greatest ally.
It's also as if Modi and Trump have a close friendship. So, obviously he's going to do whatever we say.
All right. Let's see.
Also, should we talk about the Anna Paulina Luna stuff? Because that's
I'm getting sick and tired of it. Do we gotta talk about it?
I think it's stupid. It's just like, whoa, she left the Freedom Caucus. Who cares?
I'm getting sick of
It's not bad, Luke. It's the proxy voting stuff.
But what's everyone's opinion on that? Because I honestly don't care. Like I don't know why.
My take is, it's not the number one issue. That's my take.
I think the problem though is
that.
I think the problem though is that because of like the proxy voting vote that they had, Mike Johnson decided to stop every congressional vote for a week. So I think they're going into a week-long recess. So everyone's blaming Luna for it.
So here's what I'll say about Luna. She's still a great congresswoman. Well, let's be clear. It's not like she's a rhino. Bill text, you good?
Yeah, I had to switch between Wi-Fi and data. Oh, wait, can you hear me?
Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah, I think
she's not a rhino. Neither is Burchett, but I think she messed up.
She fucked up. Yeah. I think she made a big mistake.
And also Burchett voted with her, and now he's being called a rhino. So
I swear, this is what they're going to use. The establishment's going to push a Randy Fine clone in these districts. I guarantee you, they're going to push a Randy Fine.
I think they will probably. I don't know what.
It's supposed to be a rhino. So wait, how does I didn't understand what it meant for anything. Why are they saying they're rhinos for supporting proxy voting?
I don't know.
I thought.
What?
Yeah.
Isn't that just a procedural thing? I don't know why everyone's making a big deal about it.
Basically, they get to vote from. And Luna's position is that she's as a new mother, she wants to vote from home.
I don't know.
Which I guess is understandable, but also might create a slippery slope, which might be the other concern.
Don't they already vote from home, or did they stop?
Oh yeah, that's the thing. They always. These people are full of shit. They already proxy vote. They're full of shit. That's a secret they don't tell anybody. A lot of them already proxy vote. So, they just want to get official.
I will say, there's already a lot of call to primary out Luna.
Dumb.
She will probably get a challenger, but I think a lot of us will also be forgotten about in 6 months. So now, unless she continues to make a big deal about it. I still expect Trump to endorse her, but you could see a competitive primary.
All right, Jamar Mashak stand for 5. I still think Vance wins at 28, but it'll be closer than we want it to be. I won't say that. We'll see.
We'll see. It depends on who the Democrats nominate. Honestly, I could see Walz winning Wisconsin against.
I wouldn't go that far.
I'll be very narrowly.
Hold up. K-Cup. Okay, what the hell? K-Cup for 5. My friend who used to live in Fond du Lac, now lives in Minnesota, was receiving text for the Wisconsin race. She said, I legally can't vote there anymore. Oh my gosh.
The thing is, though, I think that actually might be accurate. I think early vote action was probably texting people from outside of Wisconsin.
They were texting people.
That might have still been registered to vote in Wisconsin.
They were texting.
They probably never, or maybe never updated their info.
They were texting people out of state and people that already voted. Oh my gosh, that's what happened.
The thing is, though, is they probably got the data from the Wisconsin GOP.
Luke, can you confirm that?
I don't.
Well, crazier things have happened. Crazier things have happened.
So did the Wisconsin GOP oh my gosh.
So it's probably not early vote action's fault.
I swear, if it comes, let me say this.
Also, to say, Elon, why the fuck did you give Brian Schimming like $2 million just free, like in the last week of the campaign? He just gave the Wisconsin GOP all that money.
Can I just
like,
can I speak? Can I speak?
Okay, yeah.
No. What I'm saying is, like, are you telling me with a straight face that the Wisconsin GOP, what did they give him? Like, how many texts did we send out? 800,000 in total? 600,000?
Yeah.
What if they just gave, like, the Wisconsin GOP, they just gave them the numbers of, like, people that, you know, already voted or live out of state, and they just were like, they didn't want early action to do anything. They're like, here, you text these people. Totally not voted yet. Is that what fucking happened? Oh my gosh. I'm starting to wonder because we had how many early votes? 600,000?
And again, from what I saw, someone was claiming that Brad actually won the early vote in Waukesha.
Yeah.
It's just election day came out for Crawford.
Oh my gosh, we fucking texted people that already voted. Oh my gosh.
That or we texted Democrats.
Fire Brian Schimming. Get rid of him.
Yeah. Now again, Wisconsin doesn't have party registration, so it kind of makes, you know, even then Texas doesn't have party registration either, and I think we did a better job, honestly.
So that's what happened, probably.
Like at least when I was knocking doors for Ted Cruz, when the House was labeled Republican, for the most part they were Republicans.
Guess what? You know what's gonna happen? We're gonna find out because in Wisconsin, they tell you if you vote early or not in the voter file. I swear, if it comes out, Scott Presler should look into this. Look at how many people voted early. Look into it. Because if the Wisconsin GOP did this, Brian Schimming's got to go immediately. Because they probably cost the race.
I will say in Texas, when I was door knocking for Cruz, a lot of people that were labeled as not voted had already voted.
So yeah,
and that was like in the last week of the campaign.
That sometimes happens, but every single voter, like out of state and stuff. A life of Brian for 5. Mike Johnson is clearly starting to avoid doing anything. The GOP wants U.S. aid back. They have both trumped the CIA blackmailing them, so are frozen. I mean, you're not wrong. So, okay, we're going to look into this now. Guys, we're going to look into what happened here, because if it comes out these people voted early, and that's what happened, we won the early voters. So, wait a minute. The Atlas Intel poll. Wait a minute, I got to pull that up now. Because didn't they have Schimmel winning the early vote?
You know, I think this election told me that when it comes down to polling, don't ever doubt Atlas Intel.
Yeah, never doubt them.
You remember the age gap too in
let me pull this
Atlas Intel.
Yeah, the age gap I think had like Schimmel tied with young voters and then losing in a landslide with the boomers and shit.
Let's see. Wisconsin. I gotta find the poll. Because, oh my gosh, did they freaking... I'm gonna lose my shit. I'm gonna lose my shit if that's the case. Okay, where's Atlas Intel at? Atlas Intel. Can you just imagine that's what happened? It's like, oh yeah, by the way, we gave the early vote action to the fucking people that voted already. Because fuck you. We'll see. I guess we'll see. Alright, I can't find the report. I thought that was out there somewhere. Actually, Hines. Guys, give me a second. Say something. Say something. Talk.
I'm on a bus, so I can't really say much, but you know.
Okay.
Donald Trump should have done 6 campaign rallies for Schimmel. Screw Putin. Screw Ukraine. Trump needs to get the. Like, it's like, I get it, Trump is the leader of the Republican Party, but at the same time, he's also the president of the free world, you know? So, like, there's a bit of a,
yeah, I found the tweets.
You know, you can't just focus on, campaigning for, like, Supreme Court elections.
So, okay, Christian Hines, he posted this, and he said that Atlas Intel had the early vote around 57-43 for Crawford, which is a huge swing from 2023. Remember, it sounds like we lost the election day vote. And that's what Atlas Intel showed. There's a fucking... Oh my gosh. We just text the people that already voted. That would explain a lot. That would explain a lot. Do you think it's the younger boomers that are so liberal? Yes. It's the ones in the 60s. That's the biggest problem.
Here's the thing. Once Elon Musk goes, think about it. The Dems will have lost now the egg prices, the tariffs, and the Elon Musk attack line. What are they going to do next?
And they can't really use Orange Man bad because people like Trump now. They can't because Trump's popular now. Still, kind of.
Even Marquette only had
says he's down by 16.
Marquette still had him at 46% approve. So, and that's Marquette. So he's probably some. I'm trusting CBS's. They seemed pretty accurate from like the crosstabs I was looking at. They had 50-50. So, as of Sunday,
he's probably like minus like 2 or 3 at worst.
Yeah, it's. Like, this wasn't a referendum on Trump. If anything, it was a referendum on Musk.
Yeah.
And now, and look,
I mean, I hate to say it, you know what? It might have been. I don't know.
And even if this is a referendum on Musk, what is Trump doing now? Casting away Musk, it looks like.
I mean, I don't think that's the case. It's like a mutual agreement because I think he was supposed to leave after 130 days.
Yeah.
And we're getting to that point.
Well,
so.
still, the timing's going to look like Trump got rid of him.
All right,
that's what the media is going to claim, though.
Ben Cynics for 2. Is the GOP ran by Looney Tune characters? Yeah, they're ran by dumbasses. This is just pathetic. All right, the Wisconsin GOP is run by the Badgers football team. Yeah, I get it. Badgers suck. Why do boomers care about abortion? Their eggs have already been dried off. Oh, gosh. Well, that's the thing. It's like these people are so out of touch, they have nothing to talk about. They only care about these issues. Abortion, Musk, January 6th. Abortion, Musk, January 6th. That's all they're going to talk about.
I also have unfortunate news. Elm Grove, which was infamous for being the one Dan Kelly to Kamala Harris city, unfortunately flipped to Crawford.
Aw, damn it.
Isn't that in Waukesha?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Schimmel did manage to win Brookfield by 0.3, though.
Wait, what the fuck?
Okay, you know what? So, Chad, we're going to look at this. So, okay. I'm asking for Scott Presler to release the information, if these people voted early or not. Because he has the information, right? I want to know. Are these people already voted?
Hey, Luke, how much did Schimmel win the city of Waukesha by?
Lost the city, definitely.
Lost the city,
I saw the precinct map. There's no way he won Waukesha, but Dan Kelly also lost the city. Kinzer won the city, I think, though.
All right.
I think Trump barely won the city by like, I think he won about like 5 or something, 7.
I mean, but if Schimmel managed to win Brookfield, we're not going to be losing Brookfield anytime soon, I don't think.
What else? New Berlin?
Oh yeah, New Berlin went to Schimmel. Every other city in Waukesha besides Elm Grove and Waukesha City went to Schimmel.
I can't believe we lost Racine.
Yeah, I mean, that's a shocker. There's something about this race, like, how do you lose the election day vote, but do good at the early vote? What the hell happened?
Hey, we flipped back Grant and Lafayette. I think that this is the first time in a long time that a Republican has won those 2 counties in a Supreme Court race.
Yay.
So,
Rat,
there's a silver lining. It's basically the driftless.
Yeah, the driftless, which doesn't make any sense. Like, how? How do you not collapse? Well, you did bad in the driftless, but not as bad as you should have.
Maybe they just hate Madison. I don't know.
All right. Yeah, I heard about Val Kilmer. Yeah, he died. That sucks. Is it GOP ran by... What?
The last time both of them went red was in 2017, but Annette Ziegler got 97.2% of the vote. So I wouldn't really. That was she was uncontested basically. And then
It's like
Grant
those.
went.
It's like those counties in Escambia and Florida are like the big ones of the night.
Yeah, Lafayette has not gone red since 2013 in the Supreme Court race.
Escambia County, Florida, the last time it went down was 2006 for Bill Nelson, and that was a landslide, but he only narrowly won it.
All right. The Wisconsin GOP will follow the Buck's method when they fired Adrian Griffin and hired Doc Rivers. The GOP will ditch shimming but elect someone like Rebecca Cleafish. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, the question, who can replace shimming, though? Because you're going to end up with someone probably more shitty.
Orlando Owens?
No! Don't even suggest that.
I think we should get Rep for Wisconsin chair.
All right, Schill doing decent. The Driftless maybe a decent sign for Van Orden. I don't know. We'll see. But he's going to... I don't know. We'll see. All right. Is GOP ran by people with a Bush 2004 mentality? Yes. Still the same people. Same dumbasses. They've done nothing. Seriously, I'm still waiting. What was the last victory for the Wisconsin GOP? Not including Trump or Johnson. Because...
Probably... probably Scott Walker's last election. Actually, that he won that he won.
So 2014.
Fuck. Yeah, probably so.
Well,
actually,
22.
Or actually,
2022, Ron Johnson.
Yeah. Well, besides Trump and Johnson, yeah, probably Scott Walker 2014.
And John Lieber, who is being primaried.
Honestly, would Scott Walker be a better chair of the party at this point?
I don't think
Honestly,
so.
I'd be open to it. I think
it'd be better, but it's not really saying much.
Because, like, I mean, obviously he hasn't won an election in like 10 years, but
no, he's too busy with YAF doing that. Where's Reince Priebus? Bring him back.
Yeah, he's open. He's not doing anything much these days.
Yeah, bring him back. He was effective when he led the RNC. Like he was RNC chair during 2014 and 2016, right?
Yeah,
I know it was 2016.
I mean, like Eric Hovde, I know he lost by like the skin of his teeth. He'd probably be a good chair.
No, just bring Reince back. Reince is like actually has experience like managing a party. Like bring him back.
Yeah.
Who was the party chair when Trump won Wisconsin the first time? Was he?
I don't know. Was that the same guy before shimming? What was that dude's name?
I know what you're talking about. I think it's the same guy.
It was the Waukesha County executive.
All right. So, if anyone get any more super chats, any more questions, concerns, send them now. Last calls or super chats. What the hell?
Sorry, crowd of women.
What was that sound? Oh, it's women? Oh gosh.
Probably a group of professors. Actually, I'm on my campus.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't turn my mic off in time.
All right, everybody. So,
Tubbs joined at the last second.
Oh, of course I did.
Yeah. So, what's your thoughts on everything? Wisconsin, Anna Paulina Luna, Cory Booker, all of that shit.
I don't even know about APL or Cory Booker. Wisconsin, all I'm gonna say is, yeah, you got to turn out your base and low turnout specials, or else
I'll give you the rundown with APL and Booker. So basically, APL kind of fucked up with like the proxy voting stuff, and now the House won't be voting on. And then Cory Booker is now the de facto leader of the Democratic Party for like the next week, until they go back to not knowing what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah. And by the way, we're looking more into it, but there's a non-zero chance that the people we texted, like their early vote action, there's a non-zero chance these were people that already voted.
I said this in a group chat, but I think that like you could probably see Cory Booker be like the Democratic front runner for 2028 in one poll, and in the next poll he's back down to like 0.5, and Kamala Harris is back on top at like 20 though, but still.
All right.
I love that like Vance is consistently at like 40 to 45%.
Yeah.
And that's with everyone in the race.
I wonder if the 2028 polls are going to start including Trump with all the stuff he's talking about. Like, I know obviously he can't run, but like hypothetically, if you could still pull him, honestly, he probably still lead the 2028 polls.
I kind of wonder too if Vance wins. I kind of hope he keeps like the cabinet, like
He's
a
gonna
lot of
keep
the
most of
cabinet
it.
people.
He's gonna keep most of it.
No,
Except
they'll move. They'll shift
like,
people
dude,
around.
I want RFK to just hold that position until he dies in like every Republican administration. Like,
So, yeah,
I don't see any reason.
I think you'll probably shift some people around. I mean, Rubio will probably be vice president. Maybe you move Tulsi to like Secretary of State.
Yeah,
Although that'd be a
hopefully
tough
by then
deal.
she'll have the. Hopefully by then she might have the like. Maybe if she proves as DNI that she's not like a Chinese and Russian puppet, she'll be able to get votes to be Secretary of State probably.
Yeah, because Rubio's gonna be probably the VP more than likely. So
that would be a big upgrade in my opinion. Rubio to Tulsi for Secretary of State. I don't know. I'm very skeptical of Rubio in that position.
All right, everybody. So I do think it's time that we end the stream here. Very disappointing night, kind of crappy, but we'll be back with a new stream tomorrow. If you guys did enjoy, smash like.
Guys,
what?
Guys, we're gonna get to see Randy Fine rip off Ilhan Omar's hijab.
He'll rip off Ilhan's hijab. He'll rip off Rashida Tlaib's kafir or whatever the fuck they call it. I don't know.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun couple years with Randy Fine.
All right, we'll see you guys in the next stream, video, wherever you see us at. Godspeed to all of you.